I started Beautiful Bourbon by accident. On September 2nd, 2019, I took my first photo, and things kind of snowballed from there. Now more people see the Bourbcasts each week, and I continue to find myself in the blissful intersection of bourbon and photography. I'm KC, and I welcome you to enjoy this taste of beautiful bourbon.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are doing this. We are live on Facebook. So far, so good. Looks like everything's rolling just like we want it to. Last week, I noticed that my microphone was just a little bit hot, so we're going to just bring that down a little bit. Hopefully, you can still hear me okay. So, hey, it's Thursday. Before I go any further, I want to make a little bitty announcement, just a teeny tiny one. And that is, excuse me, next Thursday, we're changing the schedule up a little bit. I'm sorry. But something came up. I had been invited out to do, like, socialite things amongst the business people of the city. And it's, I guess, for a good cause. There's some charity stuff going on, and there's this type of stuff going on, and that kind of stuff going on. And I guess every single stop we go to a bar. It's not like bar hopping. It's like suit and tie bar hopping, if that makes any sense. Big corporate type stuff. So I'm going to do that next Thursday. But there's a couple of holidays coming up. While we're talking, let me open this. Well, I'll keep talking, but I want to get this opened. Because I don't have any intention of having this go an hour tonight, like it has been. So we're just going to rock it through this. All right, so here's the sound. Ooh, my microphone needs to be, there we go. Needs to move. Ah, yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! So, anyway, so, there is a gin holiday coming up, which I believe is not Thursday, but Saturday. So we won't be here next Thursday, but we'll come on Saturday to do a special gin Bourbcast, because we're about splendid spirits as well. And we'll try a few different gins. That's going to be fun, actually. I like gin. I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to do that. And then, so that's Saturday. Then I hope it'll be Saturday. I got to go out of town Saturday, so we'll have to gauge that carefully. I'll do it one way or another, maybe late. Just work with me. And then the other one will be next Monday, which is National Bourbon Day, or maybe it's World Bourbon Day. One of the two. It's one of the two. So, hey, Kevin, how are you? Kevin cheated. He had a bad day and he got into the Sazerac already, but that's okay. He's got his bottle. We'll still be able to drink this together, and maybe he'll pull out some unique notes that he didn't pull out the other day because he's had an opportunity to let his bottle breathe a little bit, where on my hand, I've not given it any opportunity to do that. Let's go ahead, since we're talking about that, and just give this a pour. There's something on my glass. Now it's gone. We're doing the Sazerac Rye. It's kind of funny. Somebody had suggested to me that I turn this into a podcast instead of a Bourbcast. So I did a little bit of investigating. I'm never one to say no right off the bat, or if I do say no, then I'll think about it a little bit. So I found a couple of bourbon Bourbcasts, podcasts, and just imagine, like, we'll do this in a minute when we do the tasting and the smelling. I'm going to have you close your eyes and listen to me do this, and you tell me how weird it is to listen to somebody taste bourbon and not watch somebody taste bourbon. Just saying. We'll do that in a little bit. While this is sitting and doing its thing, I want to show you the rest of the shirt. This is the new shirt. But first, bourbon. You couldn't see the whole thing, and I didn't want to stand up. So, but yeah, so new shirt. Okay, so this is known as the Baby Saz. Sazerac Rye. It says it on the bottle. Its older brother says Sazerac Rye on the bottle too. It's not like it's a lot of difference. The bottle is shaped different. This is more of an old design. But this Sazerac rye is known as the Baby Saz. It has a very distinct looking bottle. As a matter of fact, I had a little bit of fun back in the day. Hi, Jeff. Back in February, when I decided to play a little game called Where's Whiskey? So I started off with this photo, and I asked people to guess what whiskey I was hiding in the snow. Now, this is when Mother Nature really kind of took a massive dump on us. It was like 13 inches of snow. It was great for taking photos. I got to do a lot of playing. But anyhow, so that was the first photo in the series. And then I went to this photo in the series to reveal that whoever it was that had guessed that it was Sazerac rye was indeed correct. So that bottle is very distinctive, and people could tell what it was just by looking at the top of the bottle. And not satisfied with making that the only two pictures I took, of course I did another one here. This is about the same time that I did the Angel's Envy photo where it looked like a snow angel, and I got some attention for that. Sazerac gave me some attention for this, not as much as Angel's Envy gave me for that photo, but it was neat to have a little bit of attention for it. So, but anyway, Baby Saz it's kind of interesting how it works. Buffalo Trace does this. They have, like for their bourbons, the Buffalo Trace recipe is the same that goes into Eagle Rare, George T. Stagg, and another one. I think I still have it written down here. And E.H. Taylor Small Batch, Colonel Taylor. So it's the same recipe. It's just different areas of the warehouse and different lengths of aging and different proofs. And like the E.H. Taylor is barreled in bond, which means it's 100 proof, whereas Buffalo Trace is not 100 proof. Buffalo Trace 45, so it's 90 proof. So and the Colonel Taylor is 100 proof. So these are just some of the differences in what they do with Buffalo Trace and the bourbon products, while they do the same thing with this. So this is aged 6 years. Its older brother, the Sazerac rye, is aged 18 years. Then there's another one on top of that, the older brother, which is the Thomas H. Handy. And I don't know the aging time portfolio on that one, but I do know that it's the barrel strength version of this. It's the exact same thing in all three bottles, just handled in different ways, and you get 3 different drinks out of it. The Sazerac is the name of the company that owns Buffalo Trace. Okay, the Sazerac company. The Sazerac was named after the Sazerac Coffee Company that started in New Orleans. And here's the fun part about the Sazerac Coffee Company is they, during Prohibition, had basically this idea that they were covering for themselves as a speakeasy by being a coffee company. So they would do hot toddies and toddies, things like that with rye in it. And that wasn't all. It was rye and bitters. These. I don't know how to say it. Peychauds. So this is actually another Buffalo Trace product, and I don't know if this was brought to Buffalo Trace by Sazerac, but this is one of their products, and this is what you use for a Sazerac drink, which, by the way, if you want to do a Sazerac drink, that's great. There are a ton of different recipes for it. I mean, there's some basic things. You use rye, and you use, most of the time, these bitters, Peychauds or Peychauds or but you could go to Mr. Boston's Bar Guide online, for instance, and there's several different recipes. Some of them use the absinthe. Some of them use cognac. Some of them use neither. So making a Sazerac is basically up to what you like. I had one Sazerac that was done one way, and it had less of the absinthe in it, and I liked it. The second one I had more of the absinthe in it. Is alright. But so there's lots of recipes for it. Basically, it's this. Do I have it in here? Yeah, no, I didn't put it in here. Shame on moi. Shame on moi. But anyhow, so it covered as a front for like a speakeasy. They would put this in the pechage or pechage in a glass and sometimes add coffee to it and sometimes they wouldn't. But that's where they started way, 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 way back when. And now years and years later, Sazerac owns Buffalo Trace. They come out with a Sazerac product, actually 3 Sazerac products. Baby Saz at 6-year aging, its older brother at 18 years aging, and its older brother at higher proof, barrel proof. I have had the Thomas H. Handy. It's really good. I've not had the Sazerac 18 year. Hard to find. This is not totally hard to find. It's not totally easy to find either. Your lesser Kroger's or whatever not going to get this stuff very often. They have to sell the other stuff before they can get this stuff. That's how it works. So anyway, let's see if there's anything else. Blah, 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 blah. Nope, pretty much got it all. Isn't that amazing? You just read it on the internet and you print it out and you know it all. I'm a know-it-all. All right, let's give this the nose. Ooh, that's nice. Even for just a 6-year, this has got some body. Now I'm doing this in the Bourbon Trail glass instead of the Glencairn glass because I wanted to make sure that I had good nose off of this. Being a rye, generally ryes have a tendency to be more spicy, better on the nose, more nose active. That's a good word for it. So I wanted to go with this glass to give it that. Now, from what I understand, this bottle of rye is like the very minimum. You know, it takes a bourbon has to have 51% corn in it. That's, if you want to call it a bourbon, that's what it's got to have. A rye has to have 51% rye. And the rumors are, the mash bill's not talked about, but the rumor is that this has 51% rye, which would be the minimum. Now you get a rye like a Bullet rye, which is an MGP rye, you're looking at 97% rye. Some of them are 95% rye. That's where that spice, that butteriness, that sometimes grassiness can really punch, but you get a lot of spices out of that. It tends to be really heavy. This is only 51%. So I'm getting a lot of sweetness on the nose. Let me try again. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm getting a lot of what I would consider bourbon notes, and I think it's because it's high in corn. I wrote down their supposed mash bill. This is rumored, only rumored. So, okay, Bullet would be 95% rye, 5% malted barley with no corn. That's why it's spicy. This is rumored to be 51% rye. That's a lot less. 39% corn, hence the sweet. And 10% barley. So, malted barley. So, that's going to tell you a little bit about why this is going to be so different from other gins. Ryes. They both have 3 letters. All right, so I am getting some of the normal notes that you would get off of a corn bourbon. The vanillas, cinnamon, caramel. There's actually a... See, now this is where you need to close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine you're only getting this audio. Okay, so I'll get myself up close to the microphone here.
Yes, I smell caramel and vanilla. Yes, it's quite delightful.
There's a faint smell of spice here.
So the spice is good.
So you can open your eyes again. Imagine, isn't that weird? I mean, wouldn't you rather see what I'm doing? So a bourbon podcast, I know people do it, and I know they talk about other things, but it just felt weird to me. Maybe it's because I'm used to this, but I don't know. All right, so, okay, that's what I got. I just looked at the notes that I wrote down, and it says lemon, and I caught that. I was thinking, gosh, there's something else in there, citrusy. It's evidently lemon on the nose, just a little bit. It's there. The lemon wants me to say that there's honey in it as well. That may be a figment of my imagination. Butterscotch. I'm getting the butterscotch. Now that's more indicative of rye, because ryes can be very buttery, give you butterscotch notes. There you go. That's what I'm getting off of that. Yeah, the nose on this is very nice. It's not what I would call floral. It's just got a lot of body to it, and that may be helping it that I have a wider snoot using the Bourbon Trail glass instead of a Glencairn. But this has got a very, very nice nose. And yeah, that lemon is just shouting out at me along with everything else. The butterscotch and the caramel and the vanilla. All right. I think this is set long enough. I think I might have sniffed right all the flavor right out of it, you know. It's like, what's that movie that they're sucking the life force out of somebody? I don't remember what movie it was, but they're sucking the life force out of somebody, and they go back. Oh, it's Harry Potter, right? And when they come back, there's like nothing left out of them. I might have sniffed the life force out of this rye. I don't know. We'll see. Kevin, are you ready to try this with me? Do you have one poured? I know you got ahead of me. Hope your day was better today. Here we go. Okay. That is interesting. That's really good, but it's not what I would normally call a rye. And that's a good thing. There's I'm getting chocolate notes. I'm on the finish now, though. I need to go back and do another one on the palate because the finish has got chocolate on it for me, which I've had happen before with other whiskeys and ryes. So let me just go back and do it again and see if I can pick out some of those notes. It's very smooth. The bloom doesn't happen. It stays on the center of the tongue and does not bloom out. Gets you in the back of the throat a little bit when you do your swallow, but for the most part, the bloom is stationary, at least on that first one. Kevin. All right. Okay, let's try this again. Boy, is that good. There's like a plum and anise, which is one of the 5 spice. Boy, there's a lot going on in this glass. There's a little bit of vanilla there. And the chocolate was with me on the palate that time, too. Let me see what they say. Now, this is not This is not Buffalo Trace or Sazerac. This is an independent reviewer that I read. And they said, sweet and herbal. Oh, I'll totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Licorice. I thought licorice, but when I think licorice, I think fennel. And I didn't get fennel, but I got a little bit of licorice out of that. So, that's funny. That's funny that I got licorice. All right, let's see. Eucalyptus. Well, if you're thinking about a Hall's eucalyptus, that has a unique flavor, and this has a unique flavor that I wasn't able to pull out, so I'll say, okay, eucalyptus works. Lemon, multi-vanilla, I got that, and some anise. Hey! I nailed that one. That hurt. I started with a personal trainer yesterday, and my triceps hurt. Actually, my whole arms hurt, but my triceps are really burning me. Okay, so what I'm getting here is they say that The mouthfeel may not be exactly what you want, and a few drops of water may allow some spices to come out. So I'm gonna do one more without putting water in it, just because I want one more opportunity to grab the palate. Licorice for sure. Okay, Kevin is getting the licorice. Kevin, sometimes when I think of licorice, I think of fennel, and I probably shouldn't. And this is much sweeter than a licorice. I don't like licorice. I don't like red licorice. I don't like black licorice. I don't like it, but I like this, and I have had fresh licorice. I was in California. We were out there working, and one of the guys that was with us was a expert at like everything outside, flora, fauna, animals, everything. And we were walking through this area looking for a location. We were doing some filming, and the guy reached down and pulled up some wild licorice. I don't like licorice, but this was so unique. It tasted like licorice, but it was so fresh and had citrus overtones. It was really unusual. It was delicious for licorice. So, but yeah, I'm getting licorice in this for sure. You know what? There's honey on the finish. It's got amazingly long legs for 90 proof. Hey, William. How are you, sir? Glad you could join us. For those of you just joining us, I know we're scheduled for next Thursday, but we're not going to be here on Thursday. We've been invited out on the town, so we're going to do that. But that Saturday is Gin Day. I think it's National Gin Day. So we're going to do a gin on Saturday, or 2 or 3. And then on the following Monday, it's National Whiskey Day or World Whiskey Day, one of the two. So we'll go back to Buffalo Trace on Whiskey Day, which is not the Monday coming, but the following Monday. So we're not going to be here next Thursday. We'll be here Saturday instead and Monday instead. And we're going to get back to the Buffalo Trace products on that Monday. We'll do Eagle Rare that day. So you've got a little extra time to look for Eagle Rare since we will not be here on Thursday. All right, so one more of these. It's amazing how things can change each time you taste. I told you I was getting honey, maybe just a smidge before, but how it really showed up in the legs, going even beyond the finish into the legs, where you still have just a bit of residual on your tongue, and how I got honey out of that. On that dram, I got honey, and I got salt. I definitely have salt. Kevin, you have salt? Hey, Mac, how are you? Welcome to the show. I hope you have a Sazerac or at least something that you can drink with us. Tell us what you're drinking. So that one, I had honey on it and I had salt on it, and I still have this sense of salt in the finish and on into the legs of the finish. That's remarkable. I don't think I've ever pulled salt out of anything before. This is an unusual mash bill, so it's different than any other rye you're going to have, and of course a lot of ryes are different. But I got a salty. That was cool. I love that. That is so cool when you just pull something else out. All right, so I'm going to do just a little bit more here. I'm not going to go nuts. All right. Put that back up there so you can see it. All right, so now I'm going to do what they told me. This is just regular filtered water, like a Brita filter, so it does a good job. I want to get one of those zero filters. So we're going to get just a little bit of water up in there. All up in here? All up in your grill? There we go. And now, just add a little bit of water to this glass. I think a little more. It didn't seem to be enough. There we go. Love these little medicine bottles. Really, really make things nice. Get that shut. That long neck. I gotta get my glasses on. I can't see it. Kevin says that long neck makes a cool pour sound. At least I think it does. It does. Definitely has almost a like movie theater cola commercial sound quality to it. Next time I'll hold it up to the microphone, just for fun. Just for fun. Okay, so there's been a little bit of water added to this. I'm going to give it a little bit of a steer. Steering it. Yeah, baby. Get it all in there. All right, so this is supposed to improve the mouthfeel slightly because it's going to dense it up a little bit. But it also helps unpack some of the flavors. So things that I might not have tasted before when it was neat, I may taste now. Even though you're only looking at 90 proof, it's not like it's going to burn you up. The bloom did not grow. It stayed center. So let's give it a shot here. Okay. The butteriness came out more with it that way. The mouthfeel did change. The mouthfeel is definitely a little, I don't want to use the word, what's a good word? Viscous? No. Oily? No. Dense? Okay. I can use dense. Anyway, the mouthfeel was definitely different. The first thing I got was the sense of like a sweet nut, like maybe a hazelnut. It did bring out some other flavors. The tasting notes that I got from that reviewer, a few drops of water allow some baking spices to surge in and balance things out a bit. Not sure what they mean by baking spices. The salt is still there, but it went away a little bit on water. Some of the notes die down, like the vanilla and the caramel and the butterscotch, where the nuttiness, no, the vanilla's still there. There's a note of cinnamon that I wasn't getting as much of before. Maybe just a slight pepperiness after water that wasn't there before. I don't get the licorice anymore, but there is a sense of it being more buttery. Not only on the palate as far as the mouthfeel, but the smell, the taste of it. I'm getting more of a butteriness to it on the taste of it, which is exciting. I like it when the character doesn't change, but it's also exciting when it does change. You know, I just realized something. This is 2 weeks in a row I've had this new setup, and I've totally missed out on a piece of the setup. Oh, my arm is so sore. Hold on. There. Can you see him? I got lights back there. You can't see him, can you? Shoot. it was worth a shot. I'll have to put him up on something so you can see my lights. You can see a little bit of the shine. Oh well. Silliness. Did you know that in 1858, excuse me, you could buy whiskey for 14 cents a gallon? True. All right, so let me finish this and then we'll do the next test. Butterscotch really said hello right on the front. Hazelnut. This is just a really great pour. I have a friend of mine that has a bottle of this and hasn't opened it yet. Open it. All right, so got my kinky little ice sphere. I have been an ice sphere making madman over the last few days. I've made like 2 every 36 hours, and I've got 2 more in the freezer now that I'll get out like sometime maybe tomorrow evening. All right.
I know, I'm silly.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. You ready for the sound? Very unique sound. I'm going to hold it up here so you can hear it. Yeah, baby. Okay. So, for those of you just joining us, we're doing the Baby Saz. It's called Baby Saz because it's only aged for 6 years. Its older brother, just Sazerac Rye, was aged for 18 years. And its older brother, the eldest of the 3, don't know the aging statement on it, but that's the Thomas H. Handy, and that is barrel strength Sazerac. They are all 3 the same drink. The same ingredients, the same bill, everything. Just one is aged 6 years, one is aged 18 years, and one is barrel proof. Okay? Real quick, back into the history of it. The Sazerac company started off as a coffee company in New Orleans. They would hide the fact that they were doing bourbon and alcohol and stuff. So they would say somebody would come in and order a toddy, and they wouldn't get coffee. Oh, they could get coffee, but it would have rye and pichods or pichods bitters in it. So they were able to hide the fact that they were selling alcohol and behind the fact that they were a coffee company. And now that Sazerac, I don't know if it was named after the classic drink or if the drink was named after that company. I want to say that it was named after the drink, but I'd have to research that. I didn't research that. There's a bunch of different ways to do the Sazerac, but the actual drink. But now that Sazerac owns Buffalo Trace, they now have a Sazerac line, 3 different drinks rise in the line, all the same mash bill, all the exact same juice, just handled differently. So, and the Handy is delicious. I haven't had the 18 year, but that Handy's really good. All right, this is set long enough. That changed a lot. That anise came back out. It's not hazelnut so much anymore. It's more of a darker nut. I'm just going to check something here real quick. There we go. Much better. Still very nutty. Caramels are still there. It's a almost a darker, less sweet caramel. I'm not sensing any licorice anymore. Well, once I think about it, I talk myself into it. There's still just a little bit there. Not like it was neat. I don't have any lemon anymore. All that citrus that was there is gone. Vanilla's popping. I'm not really getting a sense of any body of oak in this. And that's actually one of the reviews that I read, was that this bottle, it's only 6 years, gang. This bottle could use more oakiness to it. I don't think I agree with that. It would be interesting to see what it would do. But this is delicious the way it is. And over ice, a nice, beautiful, clear ice sphere. Ow. And I have to work out again tomorrow. I'm not going to have fun. I'm not going to like it. All right. There's definitely a sweetness on the sides of the tongue. And the saltiness came back out on the ice. Not as much as it was, but it's there. I like this pour. I like this a lot. I only have 2 bottles of this, and I will be starting to look for more of this because I really like it. And if you haven't gotten the Sazerac rye, the baby Saz, start looking for it. From what I hear, I didn't see it. As you know, I went to Kentucky on Sunday and spent way too much money. My wallet is still sleeping. Such a tuckered out little tyke. I didn't see any of this on the shelves in the stretch that I do between Alexandria and whatever that town is. Bellevue. I didn't see any of this on the shelves there, but a friend of mine was in Louisville and saw it on the shelves there. So you might find it there. I'm getting talked to here. You like it better straight as well. All right, we are in agreement. Kevin and I both like this better neat. It was interesting on water. It had different notes, and it's interesting on ice sphere. It has different notes. But I think that it is the most complex and gives you the most expression when it's neat. So this was a good experiment. I really enjoyed this one. I was looking forward to this one a lot. Again, because I had the handy, and I really liked it. And when I found out that this is the exact same stuff as the handy, just handled differently, I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to that. I should have bought you that Angel's Envy. Yeah? Yeah, I know. I should have bought myself that Angel's Envy, but you get to a point where you've just spent enough and you got to stop. And that's the funny part is I still didn't stop, but I didn't want to spend that extra 100% on the Angel's Envy. I have a unique Angel's Envy here, but it's not a barrel pick. Well, it is. It's just a distillery barrel pick and not a store barrel pick. So it was just enough to keep me away from it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So one more little dram of this. I'm getting that plum back a little bit. That there's a little bit of a fruitiness to it when it's cooled down. Again, this ice is a sphere. It's a clear sphere, so it's not gonna dilute the drink as if I had put in ice cubes. I put in ice cubes in like a gin or a vodka, they're gone like that. If I use one of these in anything, it's around for a while. And I like that. Well, okay, one more time. I've said it a couple times. I'll say it one more time. We are going to not be here next Thursday. Our schedule says we are. All the predetermined dates said we're going to be here, but I got invited out to be among business people and wear a nice jacket and eat good hors d'oeuvres and drink good drinks. And I think it's for like a charity cause of some sort. If it isn't, it's just going to be fun. I was invited by an executive at a local corporation. Her husband has been a friend for a while, and she's been a friend for a while, and so I'm going to go and spend time amongst the people who make a lot more money than me and spend a lot more on booze than I do. And so that's where I'm going to be next Thursday. Get Aviation. I've heard of that before. Aviation Gin, for that gin tasting. Okay. So I've got like 3 different gins that I want to try for that. I don't know if I can do it and be able to taste the differences, because you know my palate doesn't necessarily work that way. I will consider it. I had a couple of gins I wanted to try that are distinctly different. Well, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing. That way you guys can decide what you want me to do. I will get Aviation Gin if you want me to. Like I need to spend any more money. Thank you very much, Kevin. I was going to do the Bombay Sapphire East, which is that Asian blend that I picked up on my conquest on Sunday. I do have the regular Bombay Sapphire as well, and I thought I was going to compare those two. And then I was going to give myself a few minutes and do like a palate cleanser and move on to like maybe the Hendrix or the Castle and Key. If I drink all that, I'm going to be on the floor. Because you know what I do. Now, gin, I don't drink neat. Gin, I always put on ice. So, I like it cold. I don't know. You guys, you're watching. You tell me what you want me to do. Kevin wants me to get the Aviator. I know I want to at least try the Bombay East because I haven't tried it yet. I've got a bottle of it. I've got 2 bottles of it. I haven't opened it. So now I've got a second bottle and I want to open it. Ryan Reynolds. Oh, yeah. I forgot he was the owner of that. Yeah. I just watched Deadpool again last week. Both of them. Both the Deadpool movies. I'd forgotten he owned Aviator Gin. I want to say I've had that before. Maybe because of the Ryan Reynolds thing. I don't know. Anyway, I'll make up my mind. Y'all, join in. Tell me what you want me to do. If you're along the lines of what Kevin wants me to do and do Aviator, I'll do Aviator. If you want me to do the other ones or something else, like Castle and Key is one that I'd heard good things about. I bought it. I can't say as though my first taste of it was one that I loved. They are in the original Buffalo Trace Distillery, which is OPC. So when that distillery was built, it looked like a castle. They bugged out. It was empty for 40 years. Now Castle and Key is there, which it's kind of cool. It makes sense. But they're making their stuff there, and I can't say as I've been that much of a fan of their gin. The Freedom Gin, that's another one we could try. I've had it before on this Bourbcast when I tried the Freedom Bourbon, and I really liked the Freedom Gin. It was very tasty. A little bit like Hendrix, had some of that juniper in it. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is next week, not Thursday, Saturday. Okay? All right. Let's see if I'm missing anything else. He owns the company, and I don't like gin, but it's good. It's $20. $20. Yeah, my Bombay Sapphire is just a little bit more than $20. A lot of my friends don't like gin because it's so piney. They say it's like pine. I like it because it's like pine. But there's so many other gins out there now. So many. That, like, there's an Ohio gin, the Watershed Distilling Company. They make 4 peels. That's not piney. Not at all. And then they take that 4 peels, and there's another one that they age or finish in bourbon casks, and that's got a lot of character to it. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. Gin is not Thursday, but the following Saturday. All right. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to keep this one a little bit shorter because last week was just really long, and I wanted to stick to business. So not Thursday, not next Thursday, the following Saturday for Gin Day, and then the following Monday for Bourbon Day. We'll do both. It'll be fun. Saturday, I am going out of town during the day and through the afternoon, so I'm hoping I'll be back in time. Just watch the page, keep an eye on it, set a little reminder, and when we go live, we go live. It's not scheduled, so I'll just boom go live, and that's the way it'll be. We'll make sure to get the word out there and tell everybody too. June 12th is Gin Day, right? That's the Saturday, right? It's gonna be 15 seconds before he can answer me. The 15th. Nuh-uh. The 12th is. National Gin Day is on the 12th, the Saturday. Jeff. I hope I'm right. I'll be a laughing stock if I'm wrong. Okay, now I gotta look it up. Doggone it. See what you made me do? Alright. So, gotta do a new page. National Gin Day. 12th. And that's Saturday. Told you. It'll be the 12th, Saturday. So Saturday is Gin Day. Monday is Whiskey Day. All right. Thank you guys and gals for joining me. This has been fun. This is fantastic. Baby Saz, age 6 years, not very expensive. Not a typical rye. Only 51% rye by rumor. Lots of corn in it, whereas a lot of ryes don't have any corn in it whatsoever. This is really tasty. I really like it. If you can find it, buy it. Not Thursday. The following Monday, we'll get back to Buffalo Trace and do Eagle Rare. So you have that much time to look for Eagle Rare. I suggest you do your homework and find it, so we will have something to drink together on that Monday. And until we see each other again, salute.